Hi, this is an explanation for week 3. I'm in the week 3 activities drop box, and I'm going to explain what the activities this week. Of course, you're viewing the video already, which is the first activity for the week. The second activity is a social emotional learning activity. And this week, you're going to learn a little bit more about the social emotional and cultural anchor competencies framework. You can see that here in the picture of me holding the framework. You'll see the framework, and you're going to be learning about this framework, how we teach social emotional learning to our students. There is a video that you're going to watch. It's about 19 minutes. You'll watch that 20-minute video, and then you're going to click on the Padlet here. This is the link to it, and you're going to post some information for at least 5 out of the 8 competencies that you already know about. You may not know a lot about them, but maybe viewing the framework, you'll get some information. You're welcome to Google this if you want to add some more, but you will then add the information for 5 out of the 8 competencies. It may be brief, it may be a little bit longer, whatever works. This week you're going to meet with your literacy circle and you're going to discuss your Caldecott book. That's in the book list that I have assigned for you. It's not a choice this week. The books have been already pre-assigned to you, to your literacy group, so you should be able to see which book is the Caldecott book. Now, as I told the literacy circles last week, read ahead because some of the books are novels and you'll need more than maybe a week to finish that, especially if you are a busy person with lots of commitments during the week. You'll need a little bit more time to read those. The Caldecott books are that I've selected are picture books and should get through those quite readily. But the following week, the books I think are more novel. This week you're going to learn about postmodernism. You're going to read one or both of these articles here below. You're going to locate a postmodern picture book from this list here. You don't need to purchase the book. You are to use what you learned in either of both articles and apply to a 4-point critique of why or why not the book you selected is a good postmodern book. You will need to make sure you have supported your 4 points with evidence from the articles and maybe from the textbook, and you're going to submit this work in this Dropbox here. Now you'll say, where is the 4-point critique? You're going to create that 4-point critique from the articles that you read. You're also going to learn a little bit more about visual literacy. You're going to peruse the resources that are listed here below. You're going to research the internet and locate an idea that you would use to strengthen visual literacy in the classroom using picture books. You don't need to create a lesson plan again, but you are to post your idea. You're to cite using APA, the picture book, just like you would if you were citing the book in your Reader's Response blog. You're going to cite the book here that you used, which identifies the activity that you have aligned with the book. You're going to then explain how students would benefit from the visual literacy activity. Post this idea in the Dropbox. So here are 2 videos to watch. Here's an article about questions to ask older students about visual literacy, and you're going to post that idea for an activity to support or strengthen visual literacy in your classroom. And those are the activities this week you're going to work on, either independently or you're going to have that discussion with your literacy circle. I'm going to go out of this folder for a minute and go into the group work, because you do have group work also this week besides meeting with your literacy group. So in your literacy circle, or with your literacy circle, you're going to reflect on chapters 1 through 4. And that is 1 through 4 in the edition, 9th edition. If you're using the 8th edition, I'll explain what you can do. So you're going to use one of the following apps that you're going to locate down below here. And there are some ideas for apps here. You're going to pick one. You're going to select one to highlight all 4 chapters. You're going to link this app or site to the group Dropbox, which is right here. You're going to do it right through this folder, this discussion right here. Now, if you are the first person in your Literacy Circle's members list, and you can find your members list to the side when you click on that, you're going to be the leader. You're going to make sure that your Literacy Circle selects the appropriate app or tool to use, whatever that one might be, and there's a choice there. If you are the third person in the list of members, you're going to make sure everyone has provided the information they plan to highlight. And if you are the last person on the list, excuse me, you will need to make sure the chapters are sufficiently highlighted. This will take communication from each member of your Literacy Circle. You're welcome to do that during your Literacy Circle, but if you're meeting later in the week, you may want to communicate prior to that, or however way you're doing that, either through messages or through your replies here. I know you don't get notifications and you have to keep checking the replies, but however you're communicating through group text, whatever it might be, just to do that so that you have enough time to work on this activity. Now, there is an issue here. In the 8th edition, it's chapters 1 through 3. So if you're using the 8th edition, you cannot use chapter 4 because it's a different chapter 4 than in the 9th edition. The 9th edition wraps up picture books in 2 chapters, where in the 8th edition it's in 1. So if you're using the 8th edition, you volunteer to highlight either parts of chapter 1 or parts of chapter 2, and then if you use the 9th edition, you can use 3 or 4. And if you're in the 8th edition, you can still use 3. That's okay, but you won't have the same chapter 4 in the 8th edition as you do in the 9th. I hope I haven't confused you, but again, if you're using the 8th edition, volunteer to use chapters 1 and 2. If you're in the 9th edition, 3 and 4. If you're all in the 8th edition, then just do chapters 1 through 3. If you have questions about any of the activities this week, the group work or the independent activities, don't hesitate to email me, and I will get back to you, or you can message me. When you message me on Blackboard, click that little box that says it'll send me an email to, because then I will be notified that you are trying to correspond with me and have a question for me. Otherwise, I'll see you online, and I'll see you in Literacy Circle. Have a great week.